What I'm about to expose will completely shatter everything you thought you knew about The Summer I Turned Pretty on Prime Video, and its seemingly perfect cast. Behind those romantic Belly and Conrad moments that dominated your For You page, those carefully orchestrated Jenny Han interviews that made millions cry, and every single The Summer I Turned Pretty cast interview from seasons 1 and 2 that you've obsessively rewatched, there has been a political nuclear war so brutal that these co-stars literally cannot stand being in the same room together anymore. We're talking about social media scandals that sparked international outrage, a wedding that became Hollywood's most savage snub in recent memory, and Amazon Prime Video having to issue actual legal warnings about fan harassment spiraling completely out of control. The Summer I Turned Pretty Season 2 might have given us emotional closure between Belly and the Fisher brothers, but this behind-the-scenes controversy makes the Conrad versus Jeremiah love triangle look like child's play. Lola Tung's increasingly uncomfortable interview moments, the Summer I Turned Pretty Season 1 cast chemistry that everyone praised as absolutely flawless, and those Summer I Turned Pretty full episode behind-the-scenes moments you couldn't get enough of just became infinitely more complicated. Those Summer I Turned Pretty recap videos analyzing every glance between characters never mentioned the chaos brewing beneath the surface on Amazon Prime.
Look, if you want the complete inside story on how personal politics absolutely destroyed one of television's most beloved young casts, you need to hit that subscribe button right now, because apparently I need more subscribers to afford the therapy I'll need after diving this deep into celebrity chaos. Seriously though, smash the subscribe button because this drama makes Belly's choice between the Fisher brothers look like the easiest decision in the world. When The Summer I Turned Pretty premiered on Amazon Prime Video in June 2022, absolutely nobody could have predicted it would evolve into something far more explosive than just another teen romance adaptation. Based on Jenny Han's internationally beloved trilogy, this wasn't just entertainment for young adults. It became a full-blown cultural phenomenon that completely dominated social media every single summer since its debut. The series didn't just accumulate viewers. It created militant armies of devoted fans who lived and breathed every microscopic detail of Belly's emotional journey between Conrad and Jeremiah Fisher. The intensity surrounding this Prime Video series was unlike anything the entertainment industry had witnessed since the Twilight vampire craze took over the world. Team Conrad versus Team Jeremiah wars raged across every conceivable social media platform, with fans obsessively analyzing every single glance between Lola Tung and Christopher Briney, dissecting every interaction between Lola and Gavin Casalegno with forensic precision, and turning completely innocent cast interview moments into evidence supporting their elaborate shipping theories. But here's where everything took a seriously dark and twisted turn. The obsession wasn't just about the fictional love triangle between characters anymore. Fans became completely fixated on the real-life relationships, personal beliefs, and private political opinions of the actors themselves. Lola Tung, Christopher Briney, and Gavin Casalegno weren't just playing beloved characters anymore. They became the human faces of one of the biggest teen drama sensations in streaming platform history. The show's success was absolutely astronomical beyond anyone's wildest expectations. Season 1 completely shattered viewing records for Amazon Prime Video, and by the time Season 2 dropped, with massive anticipation building for months, these young actors couldn't walk anywhere in public without being mobbed by screaming fans who treated them like actual royalty. Social media followers exploded into the millions practically overnight. Prestigious magazine covers, incredibly lucrative brand partnerships, major award nominations. This was the kind of overnight success that launches entire careers and changes people's lives forever. But with that unprecedented level of fame and public scrutiny comes crushing pressure that most people simply cannot comprehend or handle gracefully. And apparently, it also exposed some seriously uncomfortable truths about who these people really are when those cameras stop rolling and the scripted dialogue ends, revealing ideological differences that would tear this cast apart in the most public way possible.
The first major warning sign that something was catastrophically wrong behind the scenes came from an absolutely unprecedented move by Amazon Prime themselves that shocked the entire entertainment industry to its core. The streaming giant felt compelled to issue a stern public warning to fans about their increasingly toxic behavior, essentially stating that it has a zero-tolerance policy for bullying and hate speech, adding that if fans engage in hate speech or bullying, targeting our cast or crew, or harassing or doxing members, they would face immediate consequences. Think about that situation for just a moment. When has a major streaming platform ever had to essentially threaten to ban viewers for how they discuss and interact around a teen romance show? This wasn't normal fan enthusiasm or typical celebrity worship they were dealing with. This was something much darker, more dangerous, and infinitely more personal than anyone had anticipated. Industry reports started revealing that both Christopher Briney and Gavin Casaleggio, who portrayed Conrad and Jeremiah in the series based on romance novels, respectively, have been on the receiving end of hate comments and online harassment. Behind-the-scenes sources began sharing increasingly disturbing details about why Amazon felt the urgent need to step in so aggressively with legal threats. People with direct connections to the production revealed that the entire cast had been receiving an unusual and alarming amount of targeted harassment. But this wasn't coming from random internet trolls or anonymous accounts. The harassment was coming directly from different factions within their own supposed fan base. And it was getting intensely personal, deeply political, and genuinely threatening to their safety and mental health. Fans had started connecting dangerous dots between the actors' real-life political views, personal beliefs, and their on-screen chemistry, and the results were absolutely explosive in the worst possible way. Several fans had seemingly targeted Gavin Casaleggio for his alleged conservative political beliefs, including social media posts the actor has liked. And the bullying doesn't only stem from hashtag Team Conrad and hashtag Team Jeremiah factions of fans. The moment that really exposed just how fractured and dysfunctional this cast had become behind their professional facades should have been a joyous celebration shared with their television family. Gavin Casaleggio married Cheyenne King in late 2024, which should have been a beautiful occasion celebrated by his co-workers who had become like family during their intense filming schedules over multiple seasons. Instead, it became the smoking gun that proved these actors couldn't tolerate spending personal time together outside of their contractual obligations. Not a single cast member attended Gavin's wedding ceremony. Not Christopher Briney, who plays his on-screen rival Conrad Fisher. Not Lola Tung, who shared intimate romantic scenes with him as Jeremiah's love interest, Belly Conklin. Not Sean Kaufman, who plays Steven, Belly's protective older brother. Not even Jenny Han herself, the creator and executive producer of the entire show, who had launched all of their careers and made them household names across the world. Now, actors missing a colleague's wedding isn't automatically scandalous or newsworthy in the entertainment industry. People have legitimate scheduling conflicts, previous commitments, family obligations, or personal reasons for declining wedding invitations. But when literally every single person from your work family, people you've spent months living and working in close quarters with, sharing emotional scenes and building what appear to be genuine friendships, completely skips your wedding, and then fans start posting detailed side-by-side comparisons with other television show casts who treat each other like genuine family, it starts painting a very different and much more troubling picture of what was really happening behind those carefully curated social media posts. The internet detectives went absolutely wild with their investigative analysis. They pulled up countless photos from other popular young adult show weddings where entire casts showed up enthusiastically to support each other's major life milestones. The Outer Banks cast regularly celebrates each other's personal achievements with genuine enthusiasm and obvious affection. Stranger Things actors consistently show up for each other's important events, posting heartfelt messages and behind-the-scenes photos. Even reality television stars from shows like Love Island typically rally around their co-stars' weddings, engagements, and other significant moments with public support and celebration. But the Summer I Turned Pretty cast? Complete radio silence. No Instagram stories congratulating the happy couple, no behind-the-scenes photos from any wedding-related events or celebrations, no public acknowledgement whatsoever that this massive milestone in their colleague's life had even occurred. It was like Gavin's wedding existed in a completely parallel universe that none of his co-stars inhabited, cared about, or wanted to be associated with publicly. The reason for all this obvious tension and professional awkwardness finally started making complete sense when dedicated fans dug deeper into Gavin Casalegno's social media activity patterns and discovered something that would change everything fans thought they knew about this cast. According to sources, Casalegno has been accused of liking tweets that express controversial and divisive political views, supposedly including anti-vaccination and anti-feminist sentiments. What they uncovered was an extensive pattern of online behavior that directly contradicted the core values of a show created by a progressive woman, starring a strong female protagonist making her own choices, and beloved by a predominantly young, socially conscious fan base who valued equality, representation, and social justice causes. The controversy exploded across social media platforms when eagle-eyed fans discovered that Gavin had liked a particularly inflammatory post that read something along the lines of celebrating women who reject feminism, choose traditional roles, and embrace conservative values. This wasn't just some random, accidental double tap on social media. This was posted by an account specifically promoting traditional gender roles and conservative family values to fans of a show that was literally about female empowerment, personal agency, and a young woman choosing her own path in life, regardless of societal expectations or traditional pressures. But that discovery was honestly just the tip of an enormous iceberg that kept getting more problematic the deeper fans investigated. More extensive research revealed that Gavin was following and consistently engaging with some seriously controversial figures and content that seemed completely at odds with his co-stars' public positions and the show's core messaging about equality, acceptance, and progressive values. Dedicated fans discovered he had been liking Coast by conservative media personalities, widely known for their public stances against various social justice movements, their vocal opposition to progressive policies, and their consistent alignment with Republican talking points, including controversial positions on social issues that his co-stars actively supported. The actor was also found engaging with content that many fans found deeply offensive, given current conversations about equality, representation, and human rights that were central to their viewing experience. The pattern became absolutely impossible to ignore or explain away when fans discovered even more problematic content in his digital footprint. Content promoting positions that many fans found troubling during ongoing social and political movements. Posts that seemed tone-deaf and insensitive given the values that the Summer I Turned Pretty supposedly represented and that its fan base held dear. Each new discovery felt like another nail in the coffin, confirming that Gavin's personal beliefs and political positions were fundamentally at odds with everything the Summer I Turned Pretty supposedly represented in terms of progressive values, female empowerment, and inclusive storytelling
that resonated with its predominantly young, liberal audience. Hey, quick interruption. If you're still watching this celebrity chaos unfolds without hitting that subscribe button, I'm starting to think you just enjoy emotional damage without commitment. Hit subscribe because researching whether actors secretly hate each other is apparently my calling in life, and I need validation that people appreciate this level of investigative journalism into Hollywood dysfunction.
When you contrast this pattern of social media activity with his co-star's online presence, the ideological divide becomes even more stark and obvious to anyone paying attention. Christopher Briney's Instagram consistently shows support for progressive environmental causes, climate change activism, and various social justice issues that resonate with younger generations and align perfectly with the show's values. Lola Tung regularly shares content supporting women's reproductive rights, racial equality movements, and LGBTQ+ acceptance initiatives that her fan base actively champions. Their online activity perfectly aligns with typical Generation Z liberal values and the kind of inclusive messaging that made the show so popular with its target demographic of socially conscious young viewers. And then there was Gavin, apparently supporting figures, ideas, and political positions that were completely opposed to his co-star's public stances and the show's overall message about acceptance, equality, and personal freedom to choose your own path regardless of traditional expectations. When the backlash started gaining serious momentum across social media platforms and entertainment news outlets, Gavin attempted some damage control that honestly made the situation even worse and more suspicious to fans who had been following the controversy closely. He claimed that someone else had unauthorized access to his social media accounts and was liking posts without his knowledge or consent. He insisted that he didn't even have Instagram installed on his phone most days and thanked fans for bringing this concerning activity to his attention so he could investigate and secure his accounts from potential hackers. But his explanation fell completely flat for several obvious reasons that even his most devoted fans couldn't ignore, rationalize, or defend convincingly. First, the pattern of problematic activity was far too consistent, specific, and aligned with a particular worldview to be explained by random, unauthorized access or accidental engagement. This wasn't someone randomly engaging with cat videos, sports content, and political posts. It was a carefully curated selection of posts that all supported a specific conservative ideology over an extended period of time, spanning months or potentially years. Second, this wasn't just one or two random likes that could potentially be explained as accidental taps, mistakes, or technical glitches. This was an extensive history of engaging with controversial content spanning a significant time frame, suggesting a deliberate pattern of interest and agreement rather than isolated incidents or random activity that could be dismissed as meaningless. And third, his public explanation only came after he got caught and called out by fans conducting their own investigation, not as a proactive clarification or genuine security concern about his accounts being compromised. The timing made it seem like calculated damage control rather than legitimate concern about account security or unauthorized access to his social media profiles. The situation became exponentially more complicated and professionally problematic when you consider the workplace dynamics this ideological divide was creating on set during their daily filming schedule. Industry insiders started sharing details about how this political tension was seriously affecting the day-to-day atmosphere during filming, creating an uncomfortable work environment that affected everyone's performance and the overall production quality. Sources close to the production revealed that the conflict wasn't just about having different political opinions. Plenty of actors worked together successfully despite disagreeing on various political issues, tax policies, or economic theories. This was about fundamental differences in core values and basic beliefs about human dignity, equality, and social justice that made it essentially impossible for the cast to connect on any personal level beyond their professional obligations and contractual requirements. When you're spending months filming together in close quarters, sharing emotionally intimate scenes, and expected to create believable romantic chemistry and authentic friendships on screen, having such vastly different worldviews creates genuinely insurmountable problems that affect everyone's performance, the authenticity of their interactions, and the overall production quality that audiences ultimately experience. It's one thing to disagree about economic policies, healthcare systems, or foreign relations. But when one person's social media activity suggests they don't believe in the fundamental humanity, rights, and dignity of groups that their co-stars belong to, identify with, or actively support through their own advocacy work, that creates an impossible working environment that no amount of professional courtesy, acting training, or directorial guidance can overcome. The professional consequences started becoming painfully apparent during what should have been routine promotional activities and press tours that fans had previously enjoyed watching. The cast interviews that everyone used to praise for their natural chemistry, genuine friendship,